Yeah, can we move on? Prof. Professor Usman, yeah, introduce Olanipekun so we can move on.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm just looking as people are joining.
Yes, and
good morning, everybody.
Yes.
Good morning, everybody. You are welcome to another program from Bluebird Television. It's a weekly program. Most of the time, they touch areas of different sections: fisheries, poultry, ruminants, and other livestock. Today, we are having a very important topic to be presented by a well-experienced, grounded, somebody who's in the field, who has started as early as the day he graduated from the university. Dr. Olanipekun Abayomi is a graduate of one of the great universities in Nigeria, sorry to say, Chief Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto. He graduated, I think, around 2002 or 3, about, I'm not sure. And he started his career as a breeder with the Abu Traf farm in Niger State. From there, the quest for improvement and the challenges took him to Yambi farms in Ilemona in Kwara State. Currently, he's there. He's the head of breeding section in that place. And I'm not advertising for them. I know the farm has been doing very well. And many farmers are really impressed with their things. I think all these things center around Dr. Abayomi. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce, because we have already spent some time waiting for connectivity. Let me introduce Dr. Olanipekun Abayomi to tell us something about flock uniformity. As the chief has earlier said, flock uniformity is a very, very important aspect in poultry production. And now in Nigeria, farmers are sweating it out. They are sweating it out. What I mean, the challenges are enormous. The challenges in terms of people to recoup their investments is enormous. There are so many challenges ranging from feed cost, bed cost, and other things, and many challenges. So any small thing that will affect the profitability of birds is there. You brought the birds, you find that they will sell to you at point. I was also a victim some years ago. You buy a bird, they will tell you that as 16 weeks old, they will tell you, some will even tell you that they will start laying next week. But you bring them to the farm, they will reach 20-something weeks without seeing a drop of egg. And if you look at the cost of feed, then and now, if you look at it, is something unimaginable. So I think Dr. Olanipekun will do justice to this topic by telling us what to look for and what are the challenges and how we cannot get shortchanged in the course of doing this business of poultry production. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce Dr. Olanipekun. Please permit my pronunciation of your name. You know, they said those that eat fra nono here, sometimes the English will speak fra nono, and those that put eba, those that eat eba, they will speak like a hag. And those that eat, Chief, I don't know how you do a pronunciation of English, but we know they say Yoruba cannot say an egg, he will say an egg. Why the Hausaman will not say paper, he will say pepper. I don't know what Igbo will measure. So ladies and gentlemen, on lighter mood, let me introduce Dr. Olanipekun Abayomi. Please, you have the floor now. Doctor?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
I appreciate everyone meeting up at this gathering.
Thank you.
Appreciate everyone. And I'm more delighted when I heard that farmers will be brought on board so that they benefit the most. Since my colleagues here are part and parcel of the practice, it wouldn't have been that interesting if I would just be talking to my colleagues alone. So I'm happy the farmers are very much around us to tap in what we have to say concerning the flock uniformity, which happens to be the most important aspect of the practice if profitability is actually the targeted goal of any poultry farmer. Thank you. So, by definition, flock uniformity refers to the consistency in the size, weight, and even the general well-being of birds. By implication, when the percentage of the flock falls within a certain range of the average body weight, that is the mean. This certain range is usually plus or minus 10% of the mean or average. So the greater the uniformity, the less variable, if you are confident, and we are always in touch with our birds, we understand their psychology and their physiology. However, we are discussing this issue start from the breeder, because breeder is the bedrock of all, since they own the progeny. So by definition, for the lay are already in the system, they are the parent stock raised for the producer hatchable heads. And the umbrella parent stock produces the meat-type progeny called commercial broilers, while the layer parent stock produces egg-laying progeny called commercial layer. So, the meat-type progeny are raised within a short duration of time to attain required market size, while the laying progeny attain the point of lay status at a longer duration of about 16 weeks prior to the dispatch to egg production site. So, with this, it will be clearly understood that this thing will definitely have a trend to follow, and that things we take for to know whether our accounts are actually uniform or not uniform before we even start seeing the effect. So the characteristics of uniform flock include, but not both are within the same weight range and are thus easier to manage. They are easier to manage. The birds are likely to reach maturity at the same time because they exhibit minimal variation in body weight. They consume feed uniformly without any aggressive competition. When you're in the midst of the flock and you can see them rushing here and there to search for their own feed, it means they are not uniform. So produce eggs of consistent quality and size, better reproductive outcome, uniform ability in case of the breeders, uniform immunity. They will be uniformly protected, vaccinated. Of course, there are factors that will affect the uniformity of flock. One of such factors is breeding condition. Good breeding condition, among which is stocking density, feeding and drinking space, feed distribution method, health management, and grading. Of course, you cannot talk of uniformity without involving discussion on grading of birds. Importance of flock uniformity. Uniform flock do not compete to eat, which guarantees the steady growth. Uniform flock to eat, they are more predictable in terms of production outcome. This predictability is particularly important in the Nigerian market, where breeders must meet specific production targets To remain competitive, uniform flock have lower incidence of diseases, better production performance guaranteed with higher peak production and persistency of lay, which is the key. Now, consequence of poor uniformity in poultry. Since the level of uniformity basically dictates the final results, poor uniformity goes hand in hand with delayed growth, that is erratic growth, poor quality eggs and chicks, poor feed conversion ratio, efficiency of processing plant will be affected greatly with poor uniform flock. How to achieve flock in both breeder and commercial layer? The first thing is the sourcing of old chicks with the meaning the old chicks must be of, good source. Avoiding of chicks from different aged breeders, that is at hatchery level, good health management, a robust vaccination protocol, and a strict biosecurity measure prevent uniformity disrupting disease outbreak. Talking density, of course, my colleague here will understand that this plays a pivotal role towards achieving the targeted goal, because technical foundation that involves the required floor space to the birds, avoid overcrowding, and also is litter management. Standard parameters you ascribe the space required for birds. The parameters, the flock spacing per bird of is and converted is 0.25 ft square per bird. The explanation goes to, for example, size of 2,000 birds, floor space can be calculated as follows. A flock size multiply the space bird divided by the width of the pen, as the width of your pen must 50 feet. And you having to by the width of your pen to give you 20 feet. And that 20 feet is for a start. For the first week, to accommodate them completely. By the second week, you add is 0.05 to 0.5 in this, and it now gives you 23 feet. That's by it is the width of your pen. There are things you should know. Others of tests for bonds. 4.25 is the factor. This it will be added on.
Yeah, he's having challenges with his network.
Yeah, the audio is not good.
Yeah, Dr. Olanipekun, your audio is not good. So what's going on? Your audio is not good. What's going on? Olanipekun, where Olanipekun is now is where how you can get the size, the space per unit bed, because you need to get the space per unit bed for them to have equal access to water, equal access to
10 feet.
Equal access to feed. And that's where he is. And for him, these birds are genetically bred to be the same. That means they're supposed to eat the same thing and grow at the same size. But if some of them happen to grow further than the other, their sizes will be much. They will reach target weight. Yeah, he's migrating. Yes, he's migrating to another. We will help you to share your slide. Don't worry about sharing your slide. We will help you.
Okay, sir.
So you switch off the other one.
Now.
Switch off the other one.
Okay.
Switch off your former one.
So it's off now, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes, we can hear you now well.
We can hear you. We can help you share the slide. So don't worry.
Okay.
Now you are about the flock size, the space.
No, floor space requirement, I think.
Space requirement, yes.
Okay. So I was explaining that calculating that space requirement. So for example, flock size of 2,000 birds. Floor space can be calculated as follows. Flock size multiplied by space per bird divided by the width of the pen. Assuming the width of the pen equals to 30. So you just multiply the size, what you have gotten, you multiply the flock size by that 0.3 as a factor, you divide by 30 to give you 20 feet. That 20 feet is the space that will accommodate 2,000 broiler for the first week. By the second week, 0.05 is added to 0.3 to give us 0.35 ft squared. This is used to calculate the space requirement for that same size of flock as follows. Since the factor of 0.05 will be added to 0.3 for the broiler breeder space requirement on weekly basis, it does translate to the fact that the movable partition will always be extended by 3 feet. Note that this same holds for other subtypes of birds, but 0.25 will be the initial factor for the layer parent day old as well as day old pullet chicks. The 0.05 feet will be added on weekly basis for further floor space extension requirement for estimation of stocking density of all types of birds. You need to know dimension of your pen. You need to have movable partition for demarcation inside that pen, and you should know the flock size. Of course, proper counting of day-old chicks on arrival will guarantee, the flock size volume. Now, feeding and drinking space. 30 birds per tray feeder work best for broiler breeder for the first week. Second week, 28 birds per feeder. Third week, 25 per feeder. Fourth week, 20 birds per feeder, etc. Drinking space. Note that birds do not rush for water the same manner they do for feed. So 25 birds per chick drinker, that is 4 liter size, may work for the first 2 weeks. Subsequently, 30 birds will require 10 liters drinker for another 3 weeks, and so on. Now, good brooding conditions. Inadequate brooding conditions are usually the first cause of poor uniformity, because during this period, the body weight gain is considerable. During the first 10 days, the chick increase their weight by 20% per day, but drops to 4% daily increase at a later age of about 3 to 4 weeks. Now, you pre-warm the pen with the right and uniform temperature before the arrival of the chicks. When we ask you to pre-warm your pen, it does not mean that when the birds arrive, when the weather is already warm, you may have to overlook that. Maintain the right temperature for the flock throughout the pen, bearing it in mind that chicks cannot regulate their body temperature for the first 2 weeks of life. Otherwise, they won't eat, but instead, they will be craving for warmth. You allow adequate illumination. You allow cross ventilation. You do early beak trimming. Oftentimes now at the hatchery level, they use infrared to do it. Good feed distribution, regular weight monitoring. Now, for the breeder birds, they comprise of male and female. So basic principles for managing males and females in the brooding and rearing period are the same, but differs in body weight profiles and feeding program. Male constitute a small percentage of the total flock number, but of the 50% value of the breeding offspring. Merit of sex separate brooding. Feed requirement differs, so allocating feed is made easy. So also is the weight gain differs, thus providing significantly more control over body weight and fleshing, allowing more light illumination for males during the starting period, facilitating early growth and achieving larger frame. Enhancing biosecurity protocol. If one sex becomes infected with a disease, contamination of the other may be prevented. Litter management. Litter serve as bedding material for the bulbs. It is laid on the surface of the floor in brooding pen. It can be about 5 to 10 centimeters thick on the surface of the floor. Wood shave can be very good litter material. It serves as a cushion and absorbs moisture. If you want to sustain the good quality of your litter, you ensure adequate ventilation as well as use of a desiccant powder, which sustains dryness of the litter at all times. Or if you are not getting your litter properly managed, you are inviting disease outbreak. And the bird will sustain series of lesions here and there. Blister on the footpath, contact dermatitis. This invariably affects uniformity of flock. Regular body weight monitoring. Test weighing birds from day 1 to 7. Bulk weighing of 10 to 20 bucks, which can be extended till day 14. Weighing of individual bird can be adopted by week 3. First grading to be conducted at week 4. Second grading to be conducted at week 8 if need be. 2% of the total flock or more is advisable for sample weighing. However, uniformity of the flock should be assessed prior to the second grading. Uniformity percentage. This measures the evenness of body weight within a flock. The higher the uniformity, the less variable the flock is. Prior to grading, a sample of birds from the flock should be weighed and the variation within the flock is measured, either by uniformity percent or coefficient of variation percentage, which may then be used for grading cutoff. Note that CV percent is inversely proportional to the uniformity percentage. How to calculate uniformity? Get a sample weighing of bird at least 2% of the flock size. Find the average body weight, that is the mean. You calculate plus or minus 10% of that average body weight. Detect the number of birds that falls between the plus or minus 10% of this average body weight. The average body weight of the flock added. So plus 10% gives the upper limit, while the average body weight of the flock added to the minus 10% gives the lower limit. The balls whose body weight falls above the upper limit are categorized as heavier balls, while the ones that falls below limit are the lighter balls. The ones that falls in between the upper and lower limits are the medium-sized balls. Simple illustration of this. Uniformity percent number of balls, plus or minus, that I've just explained. And you can see the formula question of variation percent standard divided by mean times 100. These are just simple calculations for us to understand, so that if anyone wants to carry out that at its end, you will just follow these steps. It's just sample size, just 6 here. You now calculate the average body weight. When we have total, divide by this, give plus this, and subsequently, uniformity plus or minus 10 of 350 that we got as average, that's plus or minus 35, which gives 385 as the upper limit and 315 as the lower limit, and 4 balls fall in between. Uniformity is now equal to that 4 balls that fall in between divided by the total sample you made. You multiply by 100, gives you 67%. It can be inferred thus from this representation that, it is high-performing flock that have 80% or more, but within plus or 10% of the mean range. Since the above illustration reflects less than 80% uniformity, grading of flock into 3 categories is hereby recommended. Flock grading. This is a systematic process of sorting and grouping of flock into heavier, medium, and lighter birds, which serve as a guideline to ensure consistency and fairness while classifying birds. Aim of flock grading. The primary aim is to restore and manage the flock uniformity. That is just the primary aim of grading. It is when you have discovered that your birds are not regular, they are not uniform, it is then you deem it fit to do your grading. That's the aim of grading. What's the necessity for grading? There is always a natural variation in flock. Even at day old, we tend to increase further as the chicks grow due to difference in response of individual birds to factors like vaccination, disease, and defining competitiveness for feed. And this invariably reduces overall flock performance, so also making flock management more difficult. Now, on arrival, and it is natural, you can't have 100% chicks, uniformity. So, in the process, the heavier ones will always be cheating the less privileged ones, and they'll be getting bigger and bigger, while the smaller one will be getting smaller and smaller. And we aim at calculating feed per bird. So some will definitely be consuming more than the other. Those that are consuming lesser than the other will not have the grace of meeting up with targeted body weights. Principles of grading. You perform 100% weighing and grading when the flock is 4 weeks old. All the birds will be weighing one by one. See, it now allows the chicks to be grouped by weight and feed intake, which controls competition for feed from very early age. The subsequent 100% flock grading shall take place at week 8, especially when the uniformity is still below 80. Birds may then be classified as heavy, medium, and light weight compared to the average weight. Successful grading at progressive age helps maintain over 80% uniformity, which is the target for poultry farmers. For the breeders, males follow the same grading concept as females. It is noticeworthy that males represent 10% of the flock, but are responsible for 50% of the value. However, grading is based on the variation in the body weight within a flock at the specific time, such that a high variable flock with a large spread of body weight around the average will need to be divided into more subgroups and be managed appropriately to the point of lay. All the birds that are 10% lighter and 10% heavier than the average should be kept in separate pen. Those that fall in between should be kept in separate pen as well until they reach target body weight at 63rd to 70th day. This is followed by proper feeding and management according to their specific needs in order to meet up the desired goal of uniform flock. Note that the target body weight is the standard body weight specified for different breed at different age of birth. Like Aviagin, they specify their standard body weight for Isa Brown and Abweka, which is subject to reviewer. The reviewer they make is because of genetic modification that happens on a regular basis for improvement of the performance of this bird. So that standard should be our watchword, both the medium size, the lighter weight, and the heavier weight. What we are targeting is specified standard given on their manual guide that they tag as performance objective. So all farmers should have that. They are what we call performance objective on the manual guide of the breeds in question that you are raising. Facilities for grading, adjustable or fixed pen house, weighing scale, recording kits, catching frame, and manpower, of course. Adjustable one means you have movable partition in your pen, in the pen designated to do the grading. Fixed pen, those ones, they are fixed for what you are used to doing, that my grade A or heavier balls will be here, my grade B or medium ball will be here, my grade C or lighter balls will be here, my grade D or super light balls will be here, fixed. And everything has been, ascribed to each pen accordingly for proper management to occur. Post-grading management now. The success of grading depends on how you manage your birds after grading. So the flock need to be managed to achieve targeted weight in various groups in a coordinated manner. The management to maintain the uniformity is more important than the grading itself because it results in balls converging to a common target body weight and transfer to laying pen. Regular body weight monitoring should be considered as a weekly routine and to be conducted when balls are all fit at the same time of the week. That is, if you are used to weighing your balls every Tuesday, 4 to 6 hours post-feeding is when you weigh your ball, you test weigh your ball the subsequent week. Feed adjustment procedure after grading. Well, don't assume these birds are heavier. You should now hold feed increment for any group of birds more than 2 weeks. It will not work. Feed level must be recalculated on weekly basis. Feed recalculation twice a week give excellent results specifically for lightweight group when higher increase level is required. For instance, if you are to increase for lighter birds with about 5 grams, don't just add the 5 grams to it. It has to be done gradually, but twice in that week. You can add 2 to the normal, feed allocation, and subsequently after 3 days, maybe 4 days, you will now have the remaining 1. Feed calculations will be based on individual pen balls average body weight and bird number, so that when you have, for instance, if you have 120 grams per bed, you multiply by your number of beds in that particular pen, and you distribute it evenly in all the feeders so that, all of them will have equal access at the same time, feeding without anyone competing to feed. Feed level should never be reduced. Feed level for lightweight groups should remain in the same first week post-grading, since they are no longer competing with heavier birds, and this will give a good amount extra feed to all birds. While the essence of this is that when those birds are now in group, the challenge they have when they were with heavier birds, that burden is out of it now. They now have access to it as expected. The grammage required of them, it is that first week they will be able to consume it. Previous week, they will be roaming around without being able to compete. But for the week in question post-grading, just give them the required grammage for that age of birds. They will be able to feed conveniently, and steadily without hasting to pick anything. So if the need warrant increment, let it be second week. And that is when you are test weigh them to see how far they have gone. And of course, there ought to be improvement because they are now feeding steadily without competition, without any aggression or whatever. Weekly feed increase will be in following order: smaller for heavyweight bird group, greater for lighter bird group, standard for medium weight bird group. Conclusion: uniformity becomes a key component in both breeding and commercial layer operation because both types of birds are egg producers and must attain reproductive maturity at the targeted time if they are properly managed in a way that the specified range of birds falls within this plus or 10 minus percent of average body weight. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Abayomi. In fact, I'm very proud of you. Proud in the sense that you have made it very easy for us, both the farmers, animal scientists, and veterinarians. You have made the subject matter very, very simple for us, and it's highly educative. In fact, I don't know what to say, but really you have taken us from elementary level to all the upper level we can attend. You have mentioned, or you have told us in the first slide what the definition of flock uniformity and what to expect, plus or minus 10% of the average body weight, which you mentioned. You have also told us how to calculate floor space requirement. That is another issue. In fact, how I wish our young veterinarians and young animal scientists and the farmers also, because that's the major challenge. You see, people just call the builders in the town, they want to build a poultry farm. They just draw a line and they start building. And, you know, a day old, it's easy to feed the birds because the consumption is not much. Then you've heard the farmer say that I want to put 2,000 beds.
Professor Amin wants to leave us. I think he wants to make some statement before we move on.
Okay, so let me give him
so that
for those one that join us, Prof was a former commissioner of agriculture in Sokoto State. He's a professor of animal science with Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto. He's also a farmer. He owns his own farm, and he's in poultry production, and including the feed milling. I mean, for his farm consumption. So I'll give Prof. He told us that he has other engagement.
You are forwarding me too much. I don't have an engagement. I wanted to attend now.
He's academician, politician, and
please stop that. It's okay. Okay.
So go ahead, Prof.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's really a very, very important lecture, which most of the farmers could not pay attention to. You find that at times you have a point of view. Some will be weighing 1.5 and some will be weighing as low as maybe 800 or 500 grams. So the lecture, as you have said, as you have summarized the lecture, he has not left any stone untouched. So I only say that this particular group should continue with a good work. It's a very good community service, which will, inshallah, will continue to also participate. So I have not much to say because I think the person is an animal scientist. Probably he's not a veterinarian because we know to give kind of lecture, he must be an animal scientist. Thank you very, very much.
Prof, in the next 2 weeks, we are going Prof, in the next 3 weeks, we are going to deal with heat stress. Hello?
Heat stress, okay.
Yes, we're going to deal with heat stress, which is an all commoners, topics. We will raise topics for everybody on this platform. So you're welcome.
It's very good. Thank you very much. So I say bye-bye. Let me please go and attend to another program. Yes.
Can you give us your email address so we can send you the YouTube?
Yes.
We will send it here.
I will send you the email, right?
Yes.
Okay. I will send it.
Yes. And for those of you, please.
I will send it now. Thank you very much.
Most of these slides are in the YouTube, and this video is in the YouTube. Please. Okay. But we plead with you so that we can expand our space and expand our logistics. We want you, as you are watching our YouTube channel, be clicking our subscribe button. And once you click,
thank you very much.
Yes, click the subscribe button.
Prof, I think you can leave. Let us leave the Prof to go.
Yes, and notification button so that you can expand our viewership algorithm. Thank you very much. We will send you the email. We have seen your email. Okay, you can continue, Prof.
Okay. Okay, I was trying to give a summary of what Dr. Abayomi has told us or he has lectured us on. As I said earlier, it's very educative, very interesting and refreshing lecture we had. I think let us allow people to ask questions. Those that have questions, contributions, observations, or remarks to make, please, they can go ahead. Dr. Abayomi, are you ready?
I'm ready, sir.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you have question, remark, observation, or contribution to make, please let us have them.
Yes.
Before then, Dr. Abayomi, you give an example of Abia gene and other things. I always like us Nigerians to start giving examples with what we are having in Nigeria in terms of other companies and other things. I'm not trying to speak for themselves, but if you look the breeds we are having in Nigeria, Isa Brown and other breeds, broiler breeds that we're having, I think we should give example of what farmers expect to have as a body weight based on their guide, because not everybody have the guide or other things. And you as a breeder, you can give us example of your company. What do you expect when you are buying a point of lay? Oh, broiler, what are they? Although you don't sell breeders there, but the commercial flock we are talking.
All right, sir. All right.
Yeah.
We are actually handling Aboika, and it's a product of AVAG. Isa brand 2 is a product of AVAG. So, this I'm saying, each time anyone is taking boards, we just tell them to go into, the Google, the Isa brand performance guide. They will give them the expected body weight at different age of their flock, so that will form their benchmark for their target on weekly basis. We are in digital world now.
Yeah.
You don't follow your product with paper again. Just give them sites to go. Just type Isa brand performance guide or technical manual guide. It will just bring it to you. That will just form, a basis for which you know what you are targeting on weekly basis. That's all. And they even indicated.
I agreed, Dr. Abayomi, agreed. But you look at there are many functions relating to that. If you look at the type of commercial feed we are having now in the market, if you look at it, some I cannot say. In fact, there was a time that I would not like to mention the company, but at that time we do purchase. But from my eyes, I didn't weigh it. I'm looking, the size of the bag does not reach 25 kg. While we are calculating based on 25 kg per bag, it was just out of curiosity one time. I said, okay, let us measure this bed. We have a brand new weighing scale. By the time we found that we weigh up to 20 bags. But believe me, sincerely, we are getting as low as 22 kg, 21 kg in some of the bags. Some we have 20, very few we have 25, so even 25.5. Then if you look, we don't have standard when it comes to those issues. And I'm not going to talk about quality when it comes to, for example, analysis and other things. You look at that, you give the bed, you purchase a very good beds, and if you are starting a day all, you find that. So that flock uniformity sometimes become a little bit, if you are not using the right feed, because the expected weight at 2 weeks, 1 week, 3 weeks, 5 weeks, or whatever, you find that the beds may not attend to that weight simply because the feed quality is not there. And nobody check about the feed quality nowadays. Nobody check about the feed quality now. It's what we get, is what we use. Simple as that. Because it's not like other, we have NABDAC to go and harass you. The drug has no NABDAC number, or this and this. But this one, when it comes to agriculture, nobody insists on the quality or standardization of the quality. Yes, that's the issue. So the same to you breeders also are changing the farmers, because it's what you told us, it's what we agree. Because even if you brought the birds, you find that excuses here and there. Because only good pairing breeders will give you the right weight that we are expecting. But I think we need to enlighten the farmers to be really asking for questions, and we may get the promised land, I think.
It's all right.
So let us look.
I have questions. I have questions for you. Number one question is this: those picking point of lay, which is another dimension. They're not picking it from. In fact, some breeders actually run point of lay. Some commercial farmers, they have run point of lay. What have you to say about picking point of lay from farmers? What does any farmer buying point of lay, what is he going to do to have a good bargain? Because we know that if he doesn't get to the target weight, it is far below the target weight. Because more especially now, the cost of raw materials for feed for poultry production is so high, and there are cutting corners. What do you do? I'll be asking you one after the. What do you do so that you either you reject or you accept the point of lay? It can be point of grow you are picking, not even point of lay. Even if it is 38 weeks, if it doesn't get to that target weight, it won't lay. It's not even about even the maturity of the bird has to do with some environmental parameters like feeding, quality and quantity feeding. So even if their birds get to 30 weeks, they will not lay. So and you are picking birds at 15 weeks per se, and meanwhile their weight is 10 weeks, what do you do? Do you accept? Do you reject? And then even if you accept, what do you do when you come to your farm, even if you accept, to make sure that you'll be able to rewrite the wrong from the farms? Olanipekun.
Okay, sir. Ideally, for any farmer, if you want to buy point of lay, don't go and buy liability. You need an expert to follow you down to the farm and check if those birds actually have what it takes to be a point of lay. When you reach the farm, ask good questions. Ask for the records of the birds. When did you do the placement? When you have the date of placement, confirm their mortality status. See what number of drugs have been administered. Now, check for variations while you are even seeing those birds. Now, the last thing you should do is to go there with your scale. Confirm the average body weight. When you have that average and you are satisfied, if it's point of kg you are buying, you know at week 12, you are expecting 1 kg. You know above that, 14 to 16, you are expecting nothing less than 1.35. Now, if as an expert you are on that farm, you check for all these parameters and they are not intact and you will be paid on expertise, it ought to be rejected, because correcting those factors at a very later age can be very, very difficult. And it will amount to a waste of so many things, both your drugs, feed, and even, paying manpower and all sorts of things. You just be building the overhead. So, and if you have, conducted your search, seen these birds, the weight are intact, and they are with very good frame. You saw the comb, they are showing good sign of maturity. You can go ahead. But me, I won't ever advise that you now buy them the way they are and you now go and start all over. It will not work. Yes. The issue of whatever they want to do, what have been perfected before they invite you to come and purchase, sir. So
then another question from me is that this.
Okay.
If you're raising your bets,
okay,
and then you found out that by 10 weeks you are doing the second grading and selection, and then you have the dose lower, those are having target weight, and those more, what do you do to those at the lower weight bracket? Like you say, by 10 weeks they're supposed to be around 1 kg, which is true. Or by 14, 15 weeks, they're supposed to be around 1.35.
Sorry, Chief, to interfere. But he has mentioned the lightweight, heavyweight, and medium weight.
No, what I'm trying to tell him, no, what I'm trying, don't worry, I am asking him one question. What do you do for them, those underweight to buckle up? Maybe that's what the profit. And what do you do for those overweight to go back?
He has mentioned it, Chief. He has mentioned it. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Remember, I'm coordinating. Remember, I'm coordinating. He has mentioned it, and for those one, you can step. For heavyweight, he mentioned that you can give maybe light feed or smaller feed
from 2% to 5%.
Thank you.
Okay, that's okay.
Let us, Chief. Let me give people to. There's one Dr. Ismail Abdullahi. Is asking, please, the effects of water temperature on management on breeding of birds. You want?
Yeah, interesting one. To
throw more light on that. Effects on temperature in his chart, he mentioned. And on my own part, what is the expected weight loss because of transportation when you're arriving at your farm? At your farm, you have measured the birds. I know it's subject to distance, but what is the expected drop in weight when the birds arrive? So let us take these two questions. The first question, apex of what temperature management on brooding of birds. The second question, expected drop in weight due to transportation. As I say, I know it's subject to distance. What is farmer expecting? Thank you.
Okay. Temperature plays a major role, because while they were actually coming from at incubation, they were leaving that place at 36 degrees Celsius. When you are to bring them down, you need to make sure the temperature is moderate enough at about 33 on arrival at this polypullets. 33, you start with, so that you make sure it is uniform. Now, the effect is that they will be hoarding. They will just be craving for warmth instead of feeding. And the process of breeding for warmth, going towards your brooding source of warmth, they will avoid feeding. In the process, they will be losing weight. And if they are losing weight, that's a stress. An attempt searching for warmth is a stress. That stress will stimulate steroid secretion in their system and can, predispose them to a lot of challenges at early age. So temperature plays a lot.
Yes.
Now, the expected weight drop, it will be due to dehydration while in transit. So what you should expect will not be more than 3-4 gram drop, depending on the distance. It's very close to the source. You may not even lose at all. So, and on arrival, initially I thought I'm just meeting my colleague alone. That's why I didn't start saying welcome them with this. But sincerely, if you have electrolyte, welcome them with electrolyte to stabilize them against dehydration. And make sure the
Thank you, Doctor.
At times they are confusing. They will say, starve there. No, don't starve your bed. On arrival, let them meet feed and and good, clean water containing electrolytes. It will stabilize them and they will just bounce back. Thank you, my professor.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. Please, Chief, do you have a question on your part, Dr. Ibe?
Yeah, no. What happened is that we have products. In the advanced world, they have dextrose gel. The gels they put inside those carton, those cheap carton, which they're supposed to pick along the if they are traveling for a long distance. But we don't have it in Nigeria. So my company had to develop a lighter vite plus dextrose, but it's off the market now. But next year we're going to have it, and birds take them in immediately after arrival. Because the solubility of the product is so high, and it has dextrose. Dextrose gives them energy, and just like I said, electrolyte, vitamins, and 1 or 2 things that will make them stronger on arrival. So, but we are coming back to that. Maybe by next 2 weeks, when we are going to discuss his stress, there are some product line we are thinking out for farmers. So we don't just jump into the market with products. So somebody is like echoing. We don't jump into the market with a product. We'll do our research and we'll come out with products. We have 3 products: one for heat stress, one for brooding, and then one for laying. We are trying to come up at the same time by next year. But be it as it may, we should continue. I think Elisha is trying to raise his hand. Give him opportunity to talk.
No, I am not seeing any hand here. But
no, Elisha.
If you have
Elisha.
Okay.
Dr. Emmanuel Elisha.
Okay, Elisha. Yes.
Unmute yourself and talk.
I'm here, sir. Good morning, sir. Thank you. It's been very stimulating. Thank you for this privilege. My questions are straight. First of all, brooding with antibiotics. How does this impact on the uniformity? This is one. Then 2, use of growth promoters. These are things you see on the field. almost every farmer picking up chicks immediately wants to flood his pharmacy and just start bombarding them. Does this affect the weight gain in any way towards achieving that uniformity? The third one, hatchery-based vaccinations. Please, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Hatchery-based vaccinations and stress levels, the impact on birds. If birds have to go so far and they are being vaccinated before they take off, does this really have an effect in how they arrive to these farms? The last question, use of fruits. I had an information about watermelon, that you can make cuts and put in the box for them. Is it okay? Is it something that can be encouraged for especially long distance movement? I'll pause here. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I think, Doctor, the questions, I think we have 3 or 4 questions. The use of antibiotic, use of watermelon, and hatchery-based vaccination. I can't remember the 4th one, but these are basically what? Growth promoters, yes, growth promoters. So there are 4 questions. Use of growth promoters, use of antibiotic, hatchery-based vaccination, and use of watermelon.
Okay, thank you. You see, farmers hold this impression that they must welcome birds with antibiotics. They hold that impression, which might not be a necessity oftentimes. But this is what they are so used to. Even at the port of collection, they themselves will come with somebody to start injecting birds without knowing what the birds are coming up with. At different hatcheries, there are routine practices, because you can't predict the hygiene level of any hatchery. But from hatchery, the hatchery vaccine are diluted oftentimes with gentamicin, which is an antibiotic, which may not require you using any antibiotic again on landing or on arrival. This watermelon of 18, it also, well, I have not had before. But this, when it is introduced, you can't control whether contaminated or uncontaminated.
Period.
Just like what Dr. Ibe said, that there's something formidable that will makes your bed, stronger and stable on arrival. Hatchery vaccine. You see, whatever the vaccination given to birds in the hatchery, these things are designed from a well-programmed, institute in a way that they are less stressful on birds. There is no vaccine you introduce in the hatchery that will inflict stress on birds. From my own experience. And after this introduction, they will even be allowed to rest. Pull out starts something around 12 a.m. Vaccination, everything completed maybe around 8 in the morning. Before they start dispatching, they will allow them to rest adequately maybe around 10, 12 before they leave. So, what other thing? Growth promoters. Well, if you have very good feed type, whatever you may look out for in the feed, they are already there, especially if you buy feed from trust source. So I've not supported because they are steroid. They introduce steroid and they call it growth promoters. And if steroid is that much in the system, we know the implication of steroid. Thank you.
Yeah, let me add up something on this thing you're saying about watermelon. Many fruits, even watermelon, has E. coli contamination. So yes, you go and give your birds E. coli at that tender age or day old. You know what you're going to get.
Sorry, sir.
Yes.
Sorry, doctor.
Yeah.
Let me contribute on that watermelon issue. Actually, a student of ours, a lecturer also, Dr. Akim Chimo, here at the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, work on watermelon for his PhD. And I happen to be one of the moderator or whatever during his presentation. And the able product, it depends on how you process it to knock out the pathogens. Everything you are doing, even the maize and other things, depends on how you process it to knock out. So let us keep that one apart. But the beneficial effect, we know it contains some very beneficial things in the watermelon. If you Google, you see them there. Lycopene, vitamin C, and all those things, they are there. And those agents, actually, most of them, he work on anti-stress on birds. And the results very encouraging in terms of hematological and biochemical parameters. Very encouraging. But the issue is the processing. And if you go into that, you know, we have issue in able product, we're having the processing. Some maize, they compound feed. Sometimes you come and bring it, you'll see that even after pre-processing, post-processing, and during processing, you can encounter pathogens of different types. So in that aspect is different matter. But actually, and as Nigeria, people are trying to cut corners. Corners in the sense that what work for you is for you. What work for you is for you. That's why you see different variation in terms of poultry management by different farmers. Because some believe, once they believe on something, it's very hard, you as an animal scientist or veterinarian or somebody different farmer, to convince them to stop doing that. But if it is paying them, it's working for them, sometimes you let it go. But you have to caution them, enlighten them the dangers or the benefit or other things on that. But some of the indigenous knowledge system, we have to domesticate them, we have to improve on them and other things. And even the breeders and other things, they should start on cooperating what our local, there are so many products our local farmers are using, both for local chicken and commercial chicken. So I think different companies in here, we should not be totally dependent on what is coming from outside the country. Dr. Abayomi, in your own place, if you have something that you can think, you can take smaller population and start using it. And that one, if it works fine, you can perfect it, and it can even be another product line from your company. But we solely close our eyes that only those one vitamin C, common vitamin C that we depend on it. Some will just import the fodder and dilute it here and make a package and start selling to farmers. Well, if you have products that are rich on vitamin C and we can extract them there, why don't we do that? Thank you. I think let me stop. I'm not giving a lecture, but let us stop. But we need to.
No, you see,
encourage.
I don't want us to go into intellectual cross affair. You see, my worries, I'm not saying watermelon is not good. I'm talking about the processing you talked about. And when you talk about maize being infected, you discuss product by product, item by item, the vulnerability of being exposed to pathogens. Some are more vulnerable than the others. And that is where our mindsets are working. So that at the end of the day, we do the right thing. Yes.
Sorry, Dr. In India, in fact, when I was there, they are so passionate about mycotoxins. But when I came back here to Nigeria, I found that nobody gave a damn on mycotoxins. There you find that, in fact, when we are having lectures, that everything they start mycotoxins. I think, what is this mycotoxins? To them, it's very good challenge, but I think they don't even have, if they are not around Kerala or other coastal area, Madrid and other, you find they don't even have the challenges we are having here. Our farmers are not, but there you find that everything mycotoxin, feed, processing, pre, and other mycotoxins. But here you see, we don't. So what I'm saying, there are so many things we don't need to go into nitty-gritty. Today is Saturday, and I know many people have commitment to go somewhere.
Please, sir, I still want to add information. Sorry, sir.
Okay.
Just a question begging to be asked. At hatchery level, what happens when you have young flocks as breeders coming in, and then their chicks are hatched, which you may assume are still tender in some words? What happens at that level to a farmer receiving those chicks? They're old now. I would like advice, please, on this. And then for those flocks considered way older, that of course their eggs get hatched and then sold as chicks, should a farmer be concerned just receiving any of those? Should that information also be shared from the hatchery level to the farmer receiving birds from these sources? Thank you, sir. With your permission, that's just what I want to add.
But Doctor, I think we are trying to also, for information in the next 5 days, I'm expecting 7,000 from Dr. Abayomi, and every sentence of his, he's hooking his neck So I hope you are not also trying to hook his neck. Because what he's telling us, so me and you, I think, let him commit himself more. Because if what he told us is different from what we see, you know what
Ben,
it means.
another thing, please permit me to make this statement. You know, I asked him some questions. In my farm, what we normally do when we have some laybacks, you know, those that are not meeting the target weight, depending on when we get point of lay, you see that some of them are not terribly away from the target weight. What we do is to use heavy energy products and heavy protein products like broiler finisher. It might sound strange, but that's what we use because there is no formulation for that effect from the what do you call it, from the feed millers. So that's what we use, and then we use lighter materials again, like you said, to bring down those that are going up, that are overshooting the target weight. If it works for me, if it works for you, fine.
So finisher or starter? I just want to be helped. Is it finisher or starter?
Yeah, finisher. Broiler finisher. That's what we use because it has high energy. Yeah. It has high energy, it has high protein. But it is for a while for them to measure up. And what you do is, as you are weighing periodically, as they're coming into the target weight, you are throwing it into, you are bringing them into those within the target weight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we do in our farm. You know, when I was a farmer, not now I'm a retired farmer. Yeah. So continue. And then those in the north, let me just say this, those in the north and the heat period, you need to struggle to get to the target weight. It's you over struggle because the birds are not eating well. The conversion is poor. You need to go extra mile. Maybe Abayomi should help us on that. I have my thoughts on that, which I might, because my farm was in
Chief, before Abayomi respond, let me acknowledge the presence of our senior colleague, Professor Khalif Kudi. He's the head of Department of Veterinary Medicine at Ahmad Bello University, Zaria. We have also very young, promising veterinarian and poultry production, Dr. Hayatuddin Aliyu, also from AB Zaria. And we have the Dr. Alheri Sanchi is a director of veterinary services. I think he just left now. Dr. Alheri Sanchi. And we have even one farmer who purchased just breeder, broiler, parent stock for broilers, engineer Hamza May from Maiduguri. I think he collected his best note up to 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago. He was us here, and it's good that he's hearing this excellent presentation by Dr. Abayomi. And as we go, I'll keep on welcoming that. I think we have maybe just in next 10 minutes, by 11:30, we should round up. As I said, today is Saturday. People have commitments and they need to go to attend to those pressing commitments. We also have one, Dr. David Ishola. Dr. David Ishola is also one of the company here in Nigeria, and he's based in Jos. He happened to be my student at Sokoto for postgraduate studies, and many others. So as I said, Dr. Abayomi, please be brief so that in next 10 minutes or 5 minutes, we'll round up this.
Give them 10, 15 minutes. Give them 10, 15
minutes. No, I'm coordinating, so I give them 10 minutes.
Oh, sorry. Napoleon is always right.
Me, chairman. You are the chairman, but I have the mic now, so you can't overrule me.
No, Napoleon is always right.
You can't overrule me. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I won't.
Let me while I step down, then you can overrule.
I will never. Never.
So, Dr.
My brother,
Abayomi,
never. Never.
Okay. Dr. Ibe spoke about how they manage terribly lightweight balls at their end. However, it is unconventional, so it shouldn't be spoken out for generality of people. Why? People will mismanage. Ideally, when grading is conducted, we will now categorize lightweight into another super lightweight. The super lightweight, but we'll call them D grade. Those ones, the same feed type can be, the increment can be done twice within a week for them. And as such, we categorize them as a late developer, such that while others are already gone, it can be retained and properly managed as such in a way that later they will meet up. But before you go ahead managing those ones, we need to look at them. Are they showing sign of maturity? Including not weight alone. We need to look at their comb and watu. Is it a prominent one? If you look at bulbs, and virtually at expected age, for it to be developing comb, no matter how little, and watu, and it's not bringing it out, it's going to be a waste of effort feeding those ones with any type of nutritious, ration. But when you observe that at least it's just the fact that it's lagging behind in terms of body weight alone, if all other maturity is visible, then we can go ahead managing them the way and manner I've explained, that when they are subcategorized, C1s, they are fair and nearly meeting up. But this other C2, which is super light, you can categorize them. Most times, the C groups, they don't carry much percentage. Even the heavier bulbs, they don't carry much percentage. Yes, the B types that are medium weight, they are the ones that carry much more percentage. So, if that very light ones, they are insignificant in number, ease of management, will be there. But the procedure I normally go through is doing twice increment in a week for those ones. Twice increment. So when the increment is done twice for the first week and you test weight, you see they will be coming up subsequent week, another twice increment. I don't think you may need to do the third, twice increment in a week before they catch up.
They catch up, yes.
So I think yes.
Thank you,
please.
Dr.
Another thing we normally do is to narrow, to little bit crowd them a bit so they don't burn their weight. That's one thing. I don't know whether I'm wrong. Are we wrong in trying to, because there are not many, crowding them, crowding them in such a way that they don't have space to run around. All the space.
No, you can increase the feeders. You can increase the feeders. You can increase the feeders. Though it may have little
we're talking about burning weight. No. It's not about feeding now or drinking. It's about burning their weight to catch up.
Okay, burning them. Okay.
Yes, burning their weight to catch up.
Question from Adisa David Oluwaseun. Please, what is the benefit of probiotics being encouraged in lieu of antibiotics? Benefit of probiotics in lieu of antibiotics. Abayomi.
Probiotic is a gut stabilizer. It's a gut stabilizer. And most times, these things comes along with feed. Feed producers are adopted, method of
incorporating,
adding it. Yes, into the feed. So they are gut stabilizers, and they are good enough. They are good enough because it will avoid you using antibiotics irregularly. So it's encouraged. It's okay. It's in order.
Okay, Dr. David, if you are with us, can you shed light, because I know you work during your masters, the use of probiotics in poultry. Can you say something about it? Dr. David Ishola.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Thank you. Yes, we can hear you very well.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Presenter, for the wonderful presentation. Actually, like he rightly say, probiotics they are gut stabilizers. So they are like beneficial microbes. So their function is to actually stabilize the gut by ensuring that the pathogenic organisms within the gut are being suppressed. So that is what they do in a nutshell. So whenever they are being given to vets, so they are they actually work as an alternative to antibiotics by ensuring that there is a balance within the gut microbes. So they suppress the growth of pathogenic organisms to ensure that, yes, pathogens, yes, and to see that those that are beneficial to the beds, actually their growth are being enhanced so that there will be a proper absorption of any feed that has been consumed by the beds. So that's what they do in a nutshell.
Yes, thank you, Dr. David Ishola. We are grateful for this insight. Dr. Hayatu, I know you are the key person when it comes to poultry. One of the key persons when it comes to poultry around Kaduna Zaria axis. Can you say something about the presentation, please, Dr. Hayatu Din, if you are with us? Okay, maybe he's not hearing us. So I think, Chief, at this point,
bring up Professor Kelly, please. With the other time we called him, it looks like a
Professor
Caleb Kuti. Honestly, we need to hear
Kuti.
him. Yes.
Yes, sir. Are you? Let me see. Is he with us?
Yeah, he's with us. Please unmute yourself, Prof.
Okay.
Oh, Prof, hi. Hello, everyone.
Okay. Yeah, welcome, Prof.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, Prof.
We can hear you very well, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for this stimulating discussion that Dr. Abayomi has anchored. You know, it's quite interesting. The only thing I want to add is regarding probiotics. What probiotics do actually is they form plexus inside the intestinal mucosa. They have a lot of tentacles and they form like a mesh. Any organisms that passes through the gut is not able to attach to the epithelia of the small intestine, but all nutrients are able to pass. And that is why they are very useful in controlling especially enteric diseases and other bacteria. In addition, they also stimulate the immune system of the birds. And that gives them, you know, the ability to be able to fight other types of infections, some of the viruses, for example. Also, they are able to actually help the birds in terms of feed conversion efficiency, because the nutrients are able to pass this mesh and they're able to be absorbed and they go directly to function. So really, even if the feed is poor, but you have good probiotics, you should be able to see your performance improve. In fact, that is why when you look at local birds that are being fed with brewers' chaff, they perform excellently more than others. It's because of those organisms, the probiotics, that are inside those brewers' shafts that you have. So really probiotics are the way to go, because in Europe, that is what they do. That is where they focus on. I don't think giving steroids or antibiotic is really useful. That is why we have a lot of antimicrobial resistance in Nigeria, because they are mostly abused in poultry and fishery, even in livestock. So I think this is something the vets and even the animal scientists need to pay attention to. Thank you very much.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
See when professors are talking.
Yes, in fact, he made it so, like we're in the class. Engineer Hamza, Architect Hamza, do you have something to tell us? Because I know you have the big farmers around Yola axis. Do you have something to tell us around Maiduguri? I mean, around Yola? Engineer Hamza. Hamza Mai. Okay. Hayatu, you don't want to say something also, Dr. Hayatu? Okay, Chief, I think we have also Professor Abdul Kadir. Yes, that's Professor Abdul Kadir Junaidu.
Our guy Junaid is here.
He's here.
Junaid in Anang.
Hello.
Megida. Guess what?
In fact, former Commissioner of Animal Health, former Commissioner of Agriculture, former Dean Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, and let me continue.
Professor Usman
the
Musa.
Prince of the Sultanate.
He will continue to be former. He will continue to be former.
He's also a farmer. He has a very big farm around Sokoto. Yes, so not only an academic, he is also a farmer, academician and a farmer, practicing farmer for that matter. Please, can you say something to us about if this goodwill message?
Well, let me say thank you very much, Bongo Marugungu, as I used to call him, and my very good friend Charles. I just joined to give my very good friend Charles support for this good network. I've been very busy. Currently, I'm in Saudi Arabia performing Lesser Hajj. I just came back from mosque and decided to just join and give you my moral support and prayers.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I wish you all the best, and I wish to commend Charles for the good work he has been doing. Literally, I've been on transit these days, but today I say I must try to join to not only pray for you. You know, this is a holy place, and also to give you all the support, and pray for my country too, and the poultry industry, which is facing lots of challenges, as we all know. We have been suffering seriously from the economic crisis we are in. We do hope and pray God will see us through. Keep on the good work, Oga Charles, and the big Ochendo, and my very good friend. My very good friend. Yes.
Prof, we have the product. We are going to send you the video. I will personally send the video to you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. You know, we have time difference. When you joined, I couldn't join then. I was in the mosque.
Okay,
so
no
thank
problem.
You very much. Yes,
no, you've not missed anything. I'll send the video to you.
Okay.
And continue praying for us, honestly.
We'll do that. We'll do that. My good regards to Professor Caleb Kudi for being able to join too, and others. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you.
Let me not be partial. Let me give a lady this one. That's Dr. Mariam. Let us hear from a lady, Dr. Mariam.
You're overruling yourself again. You overruled yourself instead of me. Instead of overruling me, you overruled yourself.
Let us hear from a lady's angle.
Yes, sir.
She was also Dr. Mariam. Well, some don't want to talk, but Dr. Mariam Abdul Bukola.
Yeah, Abdullah Ismail asked some vital question we need to trash you about probiotics and the sanitizers. Please. It's very important. But let Mariam speak.
We have 4 minutes to round up this one.
Yeah, so Abdul Rauf Mariam.
And Hayatu, I think we should talk with Hayatu Din Ali.
There's no
okay.
Talking.
Anyway,
we have another lady.
Abayomi, please, can you go ahead?
No, Professor Kenne, Professor
Ezendoka.
Ezendoka, can you speak?
Yes, sir.
She's coming up next week as a moderator to Professor Tomori. Okay.
Okay, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're hearing you, but not seeing your face.
I told you my face is swollen. I have a cut.
Okay, just say what you want to say.
It's allowed. It's allowed.
No, now. This is actually the first time I'm listening to this program, and I think I've benefited a lot. Although the network threw me off for some time, and I came back. I came back when we were talking about watermelon, and watermelon happens to be my best fruit. So I picked interest Although I'm not a poultry expert, but I think I've actually learned a lot, at least to tell my students and tell my friends that are in poultry production. Thank you very much for this insightful session. I'm happy about it.
Please, thank you. Please, somebody wrote about probiotic. Can he take this question and we shut down, please? Whether probiotics, whether sanitizers has effect on probiotic. Please, let him. It's a very salient. Yeah.
But maybe you can hear from Kudi, Professor Khalif. I think Kudi will.
Okay, Professor Kudi.
Yeah,
yeah, Professor Kudi, please. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Definitely water sanitizers do affect probiotics because they are microorganisms.
Okay.
And if you give for a long time, they reduce the concentration of the organisms. And you need the organisms to be at the right concentration to be able to exert their effects.
Yeah.
So when you are giving water sanitizers, expect the number of organisms within the gut to reduce drastically. However, you don't use it continuously for a very long time. I'm not a poultry expert, but I'm in public health. I'm preventive medicine, and I know a little bit about probiotics because I graduated about 4 PhDs on probiotics in poultry.
Oh,
so
that's good, sir. That's
definitely that will cause that issue, and I think be careful when using sanitizers. That's all I can say if you are using probiotics. Thank you.
I think that's very good, Prof.
Yeah.
I think
No, that's why.
Abayomi don't need to respond. Yeah. So thank you very much, Prof, for this insightful explanation. Let me give you this a joke. We attended one seminar, a very good Prof Bast in different fields came. Then when the student finished presentation, then when some aspect of the questions came, and everybody, the audience will be asking, Prof, what is it? Prof, what is it? Prof, comment. Prof, do this. He say, look, what is my own? I'm just like you. So, Prof, Kudi, thank you for this insightful tool. About me, I think
the question is answered now. The question is answered.
Yeah, it's answered. What I mean, say something to round up so that I can throw it back to Dr. Ibe for maybe a vote of thanks to the audience.
Well,
do you have something to tell us about me? Thank you for presentation. On my own, I'll say you have done well.
Well, I just want to appreciate the opportunity given to me to be here. Oh, it's nothing much, sir.
Thank you, Abayomi. In fact, we are grateful also for this. In fact, you don't hide anything to us. You give us as it is. And we appreciate your presentation. In fact, you have enlightened us. Both the farmers, the veterinarians, the animal scientists that were on this platform, really they appreciate your presentation. And I think this is not the end. I'm sure Chief will look on other areas that you can also do good as you did now. Dr. Ibe, please let me go back to you and hand over the presentation to you. Yes.
Now I can overrule you.
Yeah.
I can overrule you. Anyway, thank you, Prof. Kudi. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you for our colleagues from Cameroon. We have Gershon, Peter, and Nchang Mbafo. Our colleagues, they are always consistent with us from Cameroon. And thank you for the farmers and who came in to gain some technical knowledge, believing that with the stress going in the industry, this will go a long way in helping you in achieving a lot in your farm, maximizing the efficiency in your operations. I will announce, and then Professor Ola Davis was here, and Professor Matthew Oyeyemi from UI, they were here. Professor Kenneth Zendoka from UNN came here too. And we need more professors to join us so that we can profess well. The prophecies will be okay. And on this note, I think I will call it a day, but I will mention that next week, Saturday, this one is strictly for veterinarians and then those in public health. Everybody in public health. In fact, we need everybody to come back here next week because we invite the farmers too. We're dealing with monkeypox, which is a public health hazard. And the person who is to handle it is the past Vice Chancellor of Redeemers University, Professor Yewale Tomori. And then Ekene Zendoka will be the moderator. So let us fix ourselves. Everything is set for next week, next Saturday by this time, so that we look at monkeypox and see the hazardous effect as it tried to ravage the world this time around, and the efforts we'll make individually, collectively, as a nation, as a people, to curtail the scourge. I think we are